The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Trader's Edge show between 11 and 12. We'll try to make the show as pertinent as we can. If you are listening live, though, I'd love to hear from you. Really two ways to do that. One, if you're inside the Tiger's Den, you can either give me a private or public ping. And if you're listening in on the YouTube channel, you can go ahead and send me an email. Send it out to Steve at TFNN.com. And just inside that subject, it needs to be good enough to put the radio show question, just so I can easily see your email versus all the other trash that I get out there. So welcome to the July 11th show. Let's go ahead and get things started here. Now, when I do the 8 to 9 recording out here, I do the show a bit differently. Because, I want to understand what took place overnight, overseas, what's going on this morning and so forth. So here we can see U.S. equity futures. They're trading to the downside this morning, about 0.5% for the most part, 0.8 for the Russell, which is down 19 points. Now, the Russell was testing key support. We'll see that as we go through today's show. Over in Asia last night, a bit of a mixed bag. You had the Hang Seng and the Shanghai up a bit, and you had the Nikkei trade just a tad lower, about 0.2%. Right now, over in Europe, you've got the FTSE that's pulled back $36 right now, about 0.5%, 0.9 for the DAX. That's down 216 points. We're going to start by taking a look at their charts. You've got gold up $33, silver's up $1, copper's basically flat, up 9 cents. I guess not flat. Light sweet crude is up 80 cents. Natural gas up 7 pennies out there. So let's begin by, now what I'm going to do here is we're going to change charts. But hopefully, Al, be paying attention to me if you would. Knock me upside the head if I don't flip back and forth when I'm supposed to. So here we're going to, in a moment, we're going to put up the charts here for what went on overnight. So change my stream. Get the entire screen, and here we go. So we take a look at what took place over in Asia last night. Now, Asia, the Shanghai has a sell the D point top. Let me just kind of expand on this a bit. It formed that sell the D point top on the trade day of July 9th, when it created that bear shooting star candle. Now, last night was a gigantic shooting star, but still price didn't close above. So you've got really two sell the D point tops out there. The first one really held the July 9th high at 36.81.97, but you've got today's high that's also resistance point, 37.26.61. Now, what should unfold here with those topping patterns is price should pull back to test its oscillator and change line. Closing print on that is 36.57. The Hang Seng has an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. Now, it's not going to get really rolling to the upside until price can get back above its green oscillator and change line at 24.220.72. The Nikkei has a sell the D point top. It created a Three River evening star candle formation. It's been trading sideways for the last week, but it remains below that green oscillator and change line. Tells us it's lost momentum, but we're really just trading sideways. I'd say sideways to lower here. The FTSE yesterday, in spectacular fashion, went ahead and completed its TD9 count top. Remember, at a TD9 count pattern, the high can be, or the low, in this case here, it's the high, can be on the bar following bar number 9. That's exactly what took place out here. Now, if the FTSE were to close probably at about, I'm just eyeballing it, 88.19 or so, you'd get a dark cloud cover candle, and that would then generate also a Rhodes momentum. That would generate a Rhodes momentum indicator top. We don't need two tops out here. What should unfold, just like we took a look at inside the Shanghai, price should now pull back to test its oscillator and change line, and that's at the 88.88 level. The DAX gaps down this morning. That goes ahead and confirms a sell the D point top. Nice big A to B equals CD pattern. And price, though, is testing its green oscillator and change line at 24.191. Its work to the downside could be over. If price closes below that level, different story, and a further retracement would be likely out there. So that's what's going on with regard to the overseas markets out there. I'm going to head and close this down, and then we're going to go take a look at the U.S. dollar index. Now, We took a quick peek at the U.S. dollar index yesterday, but here I've got the live charts. These aren't the charts. What's going to pull up here are some of the soft commodities, which we're going to come back to and take a look at there so I can share with you any bottom patterns. And there are one or two out there. If we take a look at the U.S. dollar index, these are the components, meaning the euro, the yen, the pound, the Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc, and the Swedish krona. Those are the 6 instruments that make up the U.S. dollar index. Bottom right is the U.S. dollar index. You'll see a Rhodes momentum indicator signal that has been triggered, with price right now trading with inside its profile. It's actually trading above the top of its profile. So the top of its profile, this is the U.S. dollar index, is 97.32. So if we close above 97.32 today and again on Monday, we'll have a profile change in trend. And although we didn't get the bullish reversal candle, we will have a confirmed daily bottom inside the U.S. dollar index. If we take a look at the euro formed a sell the D point top. It did that on July the 7th. Now, price remains below its green oscillator and change line, so I can't say, that it's going to really pull all the way back to its breakout level to $1.14. But maybe what this is going to do, today's bar number 6, perhaps early next week, mid next week, the euro goes ahead and forms a TD9 count bottom pattern. In the case of the Japanese yen remains above its green oscillator and change line. As it moves higher, that is getting weaker versus the U.S. dollar index. As the euro moves lower, the U.S. dollar is getting stronger versus the euro. And the same thing with regard to the Great British pound. As it moves lower, the U.S. dollar index is getting stronger. It's already going to form bar number 8 today. So the Great British pound could form a bottom between today and next Tuesday. Canadian loonie trading between support, which is an oscillator and change line, and resistance, TD9 count breakdown level. We can see that 137.43 area for the Canadian dollar has been significant resistance out there. So that's pretty much. Now let's take a quick peek here just so you can see what's going on from a longer-term standpoint for the U.S. dollar index. Just take a look at its multiple time frame charts out there. And so if we take a look at the monthly time frame chart, you're going to see that A to B equals CD pattern that is present at this stage, with price targeting probably its breakout level at about 91.80. So no bottoming pattern here on the monthly time frame. No bottoming pattern on the weekly time frame. And we can see that the weekly time frame is trading below its bullish structured weekly profile. And that level would become the area where a counter trend rally could or would come to an end, 98.73. So if you see the U.S. dollar index trade above 98.73, you'll know that there's no counter trend move and that the U.S. dollar index is going to head up to the $100 level out there. Nothing else really that I see here to share with you. So let's go ahead and move on. By moving on, we're going to go now take a look at the soft commodities out here. When I say soft commodities, I'm referring to wheat. And we can see in the case of wheat out here, it's just trading with inside profile. It's got support. This is, by the way, the September contract. 543 is support. 571 is resistance. If we take a look at soybeans out here, soybeans have actually created an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. I don't have that drawn in here, but I'll go ahead and do that right now. Here's our A to B point. I'll just simply move that over to the C point out here in a moment. And you'll see the A to B equals CD pattern, getting close to it, but no cigar just yet. As it gets down to that 995 level, we'll be looking for a bullish reversal candle to confirm a bottom. In the case of corn went ahead and confirmed nothing. What corn needs is a bullish reversal candle to confirm a bottom. You can see prices trading below profile and its red oscillator and change line. Coffee is the one that's formed the bottom. TD9 count bottom. Price is going to go target profile resistance. That's up at the 349 level. No, can't be 349. It's got to be 298. 298. If price can close above 298, we're headed to 322. You've got a buy the D point bottom in sugar. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. Steve Rhodes coming to you live from the shores of a beautiful Delray Beach, Florida. We are recording today's show between 8 and 9. So if you are listening live, love to hear from you. You can send me an email, steve@tfnn.com. If you're listening at the normal programming time, we'll try to make this show as pertinent as we can for you for that 11 to 12 hour. Now, we do have U.S. equity futures that are trading lower out there. Let me show you the chart that really, quite frankly, is the only chart that you need to be paying attention to, or set of charts, I should say. And that comes from the 30-minute time frame charts, each of them, ESNQ, Dow, and Russell 2000, forming TD9 count bottom patterns. They did that early this morning about 6:30. Now, first, my quick little apology here. I can see that the resolution on the screen that I'm using right now changed since I rebooted early this morning. This is the first time it kind of powered it up. And I didn't really see it on the black background charts, but I can see it on the white background charts. Bars are a little bit wider, things of that sort. But hopefully it's clear and at least visible enough for you. But let me describe here that at the time frame of 6:30 this morning, we had the bar following bar number 9 form for each of the daily equity future contracts. So what we know here is there is a solid bottom that is trying to form. That says that if we see any closes below the lows of the pattern, by the way, the low for the ES mini, 62.76.75, for the NQ, 22.852, for the Dow equity future contract, 44.545, and for the Russell 2000, the number is 22.5120. Now, on a 30-minute basis, a 30-minute chart that has, you got to love when we have synergy here. It's very helpful. We can see that at this stage here, price is running up into resistance. The first two up to resistance have been the ES and the NQ. And they're testing profile resistance, 62.94 and a quarter, 22.921.75, respectively. The Dow's got a little bit further to go. That's up at 44.687, and the Russell 22.6530. Now, because each of these formed TD9 count bottom patterns, that means they also have a TD9 count breakdown resistance level. The high of the pattern, 63.1050 for the ES, 22.972 and a quarter for the NQ, 44.706 for the Dow, and 22.72. 22.72 even Steven for the Russell 2000. So if you see priced on a 30-minute basis, close above those levels, that tells you about a further rally out there. So with regard to what direction is are the equity futures going to trade? If you just pay attention to these 30-minute time frame charts, they're likely going to help you point the direction of what the market's intent. And if you are intraday trading, then right now you've got some good solid information with regard to support, resistance. We didn't even talk about the oscillator and change lines out there. Not that we need to go into those. So the 30-minute time frame chart, I think, are the most important time frame charts for you to be paying attention to this morning, at least, with regard to what the intention of the equity futures are. Now, we take a look at the daily time frame for equity futures. What you're going to see here is the ES still has its TD9 count topping pattern. The NQ does not have a topping pattern for its daily time frame, and it needs a bearish reversal candle to confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator top. The Dow still has a TD9 count top. The Russell still has a TD9 count top. It may today also form a Rhodes momentum indicator top. But with regard to the Russell, and I mentioned this during the open of the show, here you've got the price pulling back. Even after forming its TD9 count top, that was on July 3rd, price pulls back, tests, and rejects that green oscillator and change line. A green oscillator and change line is telling us that the price oscillator is the difference between two things. In this case here, 39 and 19 period exponential moving average of price. The green line tells us the price oscillator is above zero. That ratio is above zero. Those are just simply all-out bullish conditions. Now, obviously, when you form a top out there, you have to become cautious of those bullish conditions, and you have to watch to see if support gets broken. Well, it turns out when price is above the green line, that oscillator and change line, that tells us we have a rising price oscillator above zero. Those are absolutely bullish conditions out there. But now we still have to respect the TD9 count top and maybe a Rhodes momentum indicator top, but we also want to respect support. And we can see, at least as of 822, that as price was pulling back to test that support, we know at 630, the Russell 2000 30-minute time frame chart formed that nice TD9 count bottom pattern. So we know that bulls are trying to defend the buy the dip area, which is that green line. In this case here, it's also the top of its profile at 2253.80. So that's the area to be watching, because if price closes below that, this is the Russell 2000 daily time frame, then we're back inside its profile, and although the oscillator change on is green, it says that you could still move lower. Conditions would be bullish, but they'd be very cautiously bullish. But right now, the signal is neutral. Now, if we get a close above the TD9 count top, and that's at 2280 level, then it's all out bullish to the upside. By the way, the IWM and the Russell 2000 cash index do not have topping patterns. They negated their TD9 count tops a couple of days ago. So that's what's going on there. I don't really think I need to go into anything else more at this stage of the game. So we do have some requests that have come in. So let's start on those. Now it's going to be a tad slower than normal, only because as I was shifting back and forth between charting packages out there, I only have one screen set up. So each time we take a look at a symbol, we're going to have to wait for it to populate. But this is for Dan inside the Tigers Den. Ticker symbol we're looking at here is HOT H, H-O-T-H out there. And Dan, yesterday you got to love the fact that it closed above $1.44. That was a TD9 count breakdown resistance area. That would suggest that what price wants to do is make a move up towards 169 to 178. 169 is the top of the daily profile. 178 is the center of the weekly profile. Let me just, nope, it is the top of the weekly profile, new profile that formed 2 weeks ago. So it looks to me like 169 to 178. Now, if in fact price is rallying, you've got to be watchful, which I know you will be, for a potential TD9 count topping pattern. So if we get above yesterday's high, when the TD9 count top can form between today and next Tuesday out there. So I hope that gave you the information you were looking for on HOTH. You also want to take a look at AGEN. So let's get those charts up on my screen. You'll see here, it's going to take, normally it takes about 10 seconds, but I've got maybe I'll just shut that down. Nah, I'm not going to shut it down. Shut down the black background system. Maybe I'll shut it down during break and put something else up. But with regard to AGEN, you've got an A to B equals CD pattern that has been completed. You got to sell the D point top that formed back on July the 7th. So what that tells us is that you need a Oh, shoot, you got another sell the D point. So price must close above AGEN on a daily time frame, 635 in order to get the all clear signal. So you've got a top that's in place. Price trading above the top of its profile. Volume-wise, what was this doing? So the swing point is June 6th. Volume 2.5 million shares. Yesterday, traded into it, closed in with 1.5. So you close inside that swing point with lighter volume. It's not a guarantee that you get all the way up to the top. The weekly time frame chart is one really worth noting because it's got the TD9 count top that would be negated when they close above 635. So the magic number for AGEN is 635. If you close above that, you head to 766, which is the top of the monthly profile. So that's what we've got there, Dan, for you for both AGEN and HOTH, hot H out there. And thanks so much for your request. Dave writes in he'd like to take a look at Bitcoin. I believe that would be the July futures contract that is being traded. So let's pull that up on our screen and see what we've got here. I'm not sure when that would roll to August. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin trading out right now at about, this is the future contract, 118,395. There is no topping signal for its daily time frame. Dave, a Rhodes momentum indicator signal has been triggered. That's that black diagonal line. If you were to see a bearish reversal candle, that would identify a top. Otherwise, price should continue to rally. Now, today's bar number 7. That says that you could get a TD9 count top early next week between Monday and Wednesday. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Tiger Technicians Hour is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking a look at ticker symbol JPM, JP Morgan. This is for Dave as well. Dave, if we take a look at the daily time frame chart, we see that price is simply trading with inside its daily profile. I don't have a topping pattern out here. They've got a negated TD9 count top, so that is bullish. Now in the pre-market trading, price is trading on 285, so it's still trading above the top of that daily, bottom of that daily profile, which is 284.01. So that's the level to be watching. On a weekly time frame, again, I don't have any kind of topping signal. Price to trade above its green oscillator and change line, trade above profile resistance. It remains in bullish breakout mode out there. No topping pattern per se. B, C, D, F, G. Well, you've got a wave number, so I take that back. So there's a wave number 7 top for the month of July, but the earliest that could be confirmed would be the end of August. You have to have a lower high out there. So there's a potential topping signal there, but otherwise just a consolidation inside the daily profile. As long as price remains above 284.01, JP Morgan will remain in bullish mode out there. The next request that you had, Dave, was to take a look at Ethereum, ETHE. So let's go ahead and get that up on our screen out here. Ethereum trade closed out at 23.34 last night. It's trading into a swing point from back on June the 11th. That swing point had 4 million shares. You closed inside it last night with 6.8 million shares. When you close inside a swing point with volume, David, increase the odds that price will get up to the top of that swing point. If you close inside a swing point with price going to the bottom, going lower out there, that would say you would, if you do it with volume, you would test the bottom of that swing point. In this case here, it's the top of the swing point, 23.89. Maybe price takes that out. Your bar number 7 today out there. So maybe next week you could also get a TD9 count topping pattern. If we look at Ethereum on a weekly basis, it's trading above profile resistance. It's trading above its red oscillator and change line, so not as solid. But on a weekly basis, it's staying with the swing point from June 13th, 16.8 million shares traded that week. This week, we're at 19 million. So we got 19 million going into 16 million. That says we test that high, 23.89. Both the daily and weekly say that. Now, if we close above 23.89 out there, that's going to set up an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. That will at least take us to 28.78 out there. That happens to be the TD9 count breakdown resistance level. Now, on the monthly time frame, what you're dealing with here is going to be resistance at 25.45. So you've really got to clear 25.45. I think that's going to be the sticking point out there. If you can clear that, then Ethereum is telling you it wants higher price. So I hope that helped you out with regard to both Bitcoin, JP Morgan, and Ethereum. Thanks so much for your request. The next request coming in from Duncan Steve inside the Tiger's Den. He would like to take a look at NIO. So let's get those screens up on our chart, closing out at 369. Yesterday, it is trading inside a bearish structured daily profile. So on a further rally, and I don't have anything in the charts to suggest that it shouldn't do that, but on a further rally, put on your seatbelts and expect there to be a bit bumpy of a ride at the 375 to 381 level. If price can close above 381, then you're off to the races. Those races will take you to $4.12. Now, before you get to $4.12, you not only have a resistance point at 381, the weekly says you've got one at 390. So it's really going to be the 390 level that price needs to close above, Duncan, in order to suggest that you are going to continue its rally, with that rally leading you towards that 412 level. On a monthly time frame, resistance data points are going to be 540 and 957 out there. So hope that helps you out, Doug, with regard to NIO. Thanks, as always, for your request. Let's go to the next request out here, also from Duncan Steve, which is ticker symbol VALE, Vale Valley. However we want to refer to it. On its daily time frame, what we see is a consolidation with inside its daily profile. It's got support between, it's a bullish structured profile, 939 and 967. It has resistance at 1037. Basically, got up there yesterday and rejected that level. But as long as it remains above its green oscillator and change line at 984, it'll attempt a move to go take on that profile resistance again, $10.37. The weekly chart says you'd really love to see a second consecutive close above 990, close at 996. If you do that, you then get a weekly profile change in trend, and that would indicate to us, Duncan, that price wants to make a move up towards 1132. 1132 is the weekly TD9 count breakdown level. If you look at the monthly time frame chart, you are trading inside a bullish structured profile. I would have to really say that a close above April's high, 1022, would be the signal that we're going to get up towards the 1205 level. So that's what's going on. We take a look at VALE, resistance at 1037. It's coming from the daily time frame chart out there, and I hope that information provided you with assistance that you were looking for. You also wanted to take a look at the semiconductor, SOXX ETF out here. As we take a look at SOXX, well, we didn't get it. Shoot. Let's go get it now. SOXX. We're going to just simply have to wait for this chart here to populate. SOXX, no topping pattern, so it negated its TD9 count top for its daily time frame. The weekly chart for the SOXX will negate its TD9 count top with a close today above 244.20. So the real number, the only number today that's of mucho importance inside of SOXX is, what did I say was, I forgot, 240? Was it 244.20? 244.20 is the number. You close today above 244.20 or 244.20, 244.20. I'll say it one more time. No, I won't. If you close above that level, Dunk, you got a daily negated TD9 count top, a weekly TD9 count top. What do you think the signal is? We're headed higher. On a monthly time frame, price is traded above its TD9 count breakdown resistance level, 240.47. Trade above, closed above profile last month out there, and we've got a green oscillator and change line. So the semiconductor index, from a volume standpoint, they're trading into a swing point. If July of 2024, 91 million shares traded that month. So far, we're at 41 million shares. Not halfway through the month from a trading standpoint, but getting pretty close out there. So it looks to me like what price is signaling to you and I is that the semiconductor, the SOXX ETF, wants to go target the 267.24 area out there. So I hope that helps you out. Nitram wants to look at ZETA, so but not ZEWTA, ZETA. Always up, man. Fat fingers this morning, ZETA. We'll try that. The third time was the charm for Stevie out there. So let's get this set of charts here populated. ZETA, Zeta, consolidated with inside its daily profile. Trading right now inside the bullish structure to the buy zone of that profile, 1453 to 1514. You had to sell the D-point top. That formed with that dark cloud cover on the trading session of June the 24th. And then price is simply pulling back and testing support at 1453. So your key number to the downside is 1453. If we get a close below 1453, we're heading towards 1321. That's the bottom of the weekly profile. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Here for Zeta. Again, we're recording the show early. It's 8:42 in the morning. If you're listening live at 11, you're listening on the recorded show at 11:42. First, thanks so much for doing that. And we're taking a look at ticker symbol ZETA. This is for Nitram inside the Tiger's Den. So a lot to be learned here. We talked about the daily sell, the D-point top with price finding support in its bullish structured zone out there. The weekly time frame chart also had a sell, the D-point top. And, actually, it had a T9 count bottom. That's what I would talk about. T9 count bottom ran right up into resistance at its profile at 1663. So you also know that you've got resistance at 1663 and then at 1818 on any rally at 1777. You had a T9 count top on the monthly chart. That took price right back to its bullish structured profile, 1309. That level held out there. So you know that's an important price point to the downside as well, 1309. Price then rallied up into its green oscillator and change line, 1777. That's really your price range of where this is trading, 1309 to 1777. So Nitram, I hope that gave the info you were looking for. White shark inside the Tiger's Den. Let's take a look at ticker symbol UAVS. So let's get those charts up on our screen out here. UAVS closed out at $1.24, ran into resistance yesterday at its TD9 count breakdown resistance level, $1.27. If you can clear $1.27, you ought to move up towards 148, and 148 is the top of the weekly profile, the daily profile. The weekly time frame chart, you've been up for 4 weeks in a row, so the weekly time frame chart is kind of suggesting. Last time we were up for 4 weeks in a row, that was back on February 16th. We had a 1 week pullback out there with the daily time frame running into resistance at $1.27. I would say odds favor Sharky that if price does not close above $1.27 today, and even if it does, odds are favoring that you should get at least some type of short-term pullback out there. That is UAVS, traded at $1.40 in the pre-market. Yeah. It's got resistance at $1.48. $1.48 out there, Dan. So if it can clear $1.48, let's pull this back here. If it can clear $1.48, then the next resistance level that you would have is 148. That is the top 148 is the top of the daily profile, and it is the top of the weekly profile. How about that? So that's your strong resistance point. It's traded at $1.40. So I would say if price closes above $1.48, that would be a very bullish outcome. Volume-wise, I would assume it would be trading with volume into the swing point from back on June 9th, and that would then suggest a run up to its high at $1.64. And if you can clear $1.64, then you're off to 207. That's the weekly TD9 count top out there. So thanks for providing that additional information, and that's what the stock chart is doing, and now you've got the numbers to be paying attention to. You also, Sharky, wanted to take a look at ticker symbol ONDS. What is that trading at in the pre-market out there? Is this another one that's taking off? Maybe, Dan, you could do that so I don't have to switch charts or anything. But we take a look at, that's not it. That's NIO. Huh. What did I do? Is this in here? There we go. I did that, 214. Thank you. So trade at 214. 214 would take us above the top of its daily profile. That's where it found resistance yesterday. It would be trading into a swing point from June 30th. The high of that is 229. The volume there is 46 million shares. We closed inside that yesterday with 23 million shares. So you'd really like to, you're trading above profile resistance. You got 205 as profile resistance on the weekly. The weekly is going to go ahead and complete a TD9 count. I'm going to confirm, well, based on the way it's trading, it looks like it's going to go ahead and confirm a weekly TD9 count top. Now, that pattern will complete next week, but that's getting us set up for a potential retracement here back towards about the $1.53 level. One thing at a time. Let's see how the day plays out. If it closes above the daily profile resistance level, and depending on the volume, it could be signaling to move up to test the high of that shooting star at 229 out there. If you close below 205, 201, then we're still just consolidating with inside its daily profile with a TD9 count top on the weekly time frame out there. So I think to really better assess this, you've got to see how the day trades and where price closes. That is ticker symbol ONDS out there. So the next request comes from Dan inside the Tigers, and no more requests out here. First, let me just give you New York Stock Exchange. Advanced decline oscillator. Still above zero. That provides buyers with an edge. Spot VIX index still well below the 50-day exponential moving average. That provides buyers with an edge out there. Okay, well, that was pretty quick, Stevie. Dan would like to take a look at the intraday charts for Nike and for Tesla. So I did not have those open. I'm not sure this is going to show Berkshire Hathaway when these open. So I'll change this over to Nike here momentarily, and we'll take a look at those intraday charts out there. Now, they're intraday through yesterday. I don't have what's going on in the pre-market. I don't have any of that turned on any of these charts out here. But if you would be kind enough to give me a moment, we will we'll get these things fired up here. Okie dokie. Come on, keep going. Keep going. NKE. Alrighty. So let's get Nike fired up here. Now, Nike had set up a pretty nice short trade a few days ago. And then I believe yesterday we had a bit of a rally in Nike. Did we not? Yes, we did. So you can see you've got that nice daily TD9 count top out there. And price should be gunning for 72.46. Dan, where's this trading in the pre-market? Fireball top. Wow, look at that one. Dan, where is Nike trading? Can you let me know where it's trading in the pre-market? You've got a 15-minute TD9 count bottom pattern. 74. Okay, so you've got a TD9 count bottom pattern on 15-minute time frame chart. That says a close below 74.52 is suggesting lower price. That lower price suggested would be 72.95. The 30-minute time frame chart has a TD9 count top with price trading closed 1 penny below the bottom of his profile. So we've got 3 consecutive closes below the bottom profile. 72.95 becomes a price target for Nike on the intraday charts. 65-minute charts is, I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. I'm still trading above profile. Profile resistance here for Nike is going to be 74.25, so you're trading below that. 73.81 would be the next support level out here. Dan, that's what I've got with regard to intraday charts. We've got a TD9 count top on the 195-minute time frame chart. Yeah, so that's what we've got there for Nike. Hopefully that gave the information. Tesla, TSLA. Dan would like to do the same thing out there. Tesla traded out 308.90, closed last night at 309.87. So 308.90 just keeps us inside the daily profile. So what we've got on Tesla is a consolidation inside. It's a bullish structured daily profile that formed yesterday. Its buy zone is between 292.45 and 296.13. Resistance, which was almost touched yesterday. You've got a couple different. The profile resistance is up at the 310.85 oscillator and change line, 313. TD knockout breakdown resistance 329 out there. I don't see intraday tops, which I think is what you might have been looking for Tesla. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks so much for joining me early. We did record the show between 8 and 9, and what we identified here is I think that the most important set of equity future charts to be paying attention to come from the 30-minute time frame. Each of them this morning at 6:30, forming TD9 count bottoms. That establishes this morning's low as a key level. On a 30-minute basis, we close below those lows for the ESCNQ, the Dow, or the Russell 2000. We're headed lower. I'll give you those price points in a moment. Now what we're watching watching for is you've got can price take out profile resistance, 62.90, 4.25 for the ES, 22.9, 21.75 for the NQ, 44.687 for the Dow, and 22.65.30 for the Russell 2000. Those are the numbers to watch. I mentioned I'd give you the numbers for the lows for the day. Out here for the ES Mini, it's 62.76.75. The NQ, it's 22.831.50, 44.545 for the Dow, and 22.51.20 for the Russell. Any 30-minute closes below those would tell us that we are likely headed lower out there. If we take a look at anything of concern, is there any concern Stevie has? Well, yes, we've talked about this before. That's the fact that the S&P 500 is trading at new all-time highs, but not in every major currency out here. In fact, only just a few. We are trading at new all-time highs in terms of U.S. dollars, Canadian dollars, and Chinese yuan. We went above Chinese yuan yesterday and the day before. Typically, I take that back. And I said the Canadian out there. Typically, now look, in bull markets, everything is moving higher at the same time. But you like to be at new all-time highs, really, in all these currencies out there, and we are not. In fact, even the DAX. The DAX has made new all-time highs in terms of U.S. dollars, in terms of Chinese yuan, and the Japanese yen. But it has not in terms of its own currency, the euro. It hasn't in terms of the Great British Pound either. This is telling me that DAX has got some major problems out there. That's the way that I read this chart. In any event, stay tuned. Tommy O'Brien is up next. And have a fantastic Friday, a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you back here on Magical, Magnificent Monday. Thanks, folks. Take care. Be safe out there.